Hello! In this video, I'm going to explain the information displayed and functions available for services on the Service Basket page. These differ depending on whether the project has been booked or not, for example in a project, compared to a booking, and whether it is set to invoice package rates or detailed rates. Some functions might also be dependent on user access rights. See also the tutorials on the Service Basket header and Service Basket functions for a detailed look at those aspects of the page. The basic information in the Service Basket is date, time if entered, provider and service, optional, whether service as per project, optional or alternative, and the total sales rate for the service. Services appear chronologically by date and time of first service of the package. Depending on the nature of the service, different information is displayed. For example, for tours and meals like the meet and greet, 4x4 game drives and lunch, the provider, service location, and service heading. For a visit suggestion, and then the service heading, no rate, status, etc. For accommodation, provider, location, and service heading. Clicking on the provider name displays the provider details page. For air transport, provider, service heading, departure and arrival location. For car rental, pickup date, time and location, drop-off date, time and location, service heading, and duration. For transport with guide, to pick up date, time and location, drop off date, time and location, provider and service heading. For a train, provider, service heading, departure and arrival location. For a transfer, provider, departure and arrival location, and if entered, pick up and drop off details. For each service in the basket, some actions are possible. To amend the date for a service in the basket, click on the calendar icon. For example, for Boekop Kombuis, enter the new date for the service, for example the 24th, and save. If there are already services in the itinerary for the new date, select a service before or after which the service should be inserted, for example breakfast, and save. Note the new position of the service according to the new date. When making a change, for example for C4th to the 21st, it is possible to specify that the change should affect not only the specific service, but also all subsequent services in the basket by ticking Shift Basket Context. See the tutorial on Shift Basket for a detailed look at how this function works. To amend whether a service is linked to an optional, alternative, or as per project, select from the list. For example, for Sakumzi, select lunch and confirm. See the tutorial on optionals for a detailed look at how this function works. To view or amend the calculation of the rates for a service, click on the rates. For example, in Daba Hotel. The rates show the details of the cost and sales rates, the rooming list linked to the service, and the breakdown of rates calculated for each passenger based on room type and, for children, age. If you make a change to the cost, for example, per person to 900, when you save the changes, the sales rate is automatically recalculated. For example, note the new per person of 1159. It is also possible to make and save an amendment to the sales rate only, for example, the single supplement to 800, and save. The rate for each passenger as well as the total will be recalculated accordingly. To undo manual rate changes, select Reset Cost and/or Reset Sale and click Reset Rates. The original rates are recovered. To view or amend comments and settings, click on the magnifying glass icon, for example for Gold Reef City. Restrictions appear as entered by the database department, for example, closed Mondays and Tuesdays. Booking info can be entered to appear on the booking email sent to suppliers, for example, lagoon facing room, and click Save. This information will appear on the booking and also on the reference. Voucher information can be entered to appear on the voucher and also on the reference. use the voucher info entered instead of the object heading on the voucher, tick Use Info as OFS heading. Then the voucher info will replace the OFS heading on the voucher. For example, instead of showing Standard Room Bed and Breakfast, it displays Family Room Bed and Breakfast according to the comment entered. This is useful if a supplier confirms a room type different from the one requested and it is not worthwhile creating that room type in the system because it will not be used sufficiently. See the tutorial on vouchers for a detailed look at how this function works. Tick Not included in our rates if the service is included for the sake of itinerary coherence or information only, for example for the flight Durban-Cape Town. See the tutorial on Not included in our rates for a detailed look at how this function works. Tick Not booked by African Eagle for a service added to or kept in a project for the sake of the rates only, for example Table Mountain. See the tutorial on Not booked by African Eagle for a detailed look at how this function works. For accommodation only, click on the alternatives icon to view a list of similar services if the original is not available. See the tutorial on alternatives for a detailed look at how this function works. The examples we have seen so far are for a project set to invoice package rates. The rooming list link to each service is not visible in the service basket because it depends on the optional link. It can only be viewed or amended in Rate Setup. If a project is set to invoice detailed rates, the rooming list link to the services are also displayed because they can be adjusted for each service directly in the service basket. See the tutorial on passenger lists and on invoicing package rates or detailed rates for a detailed look at how this function works. In a booked project, the service basket displays in addition the booking status, OK, for example for the car when the booking is confirmed, RS, for example for Cloud9 when the request has been sent but not yet confirmed, WL, for example for Falaza when the booking is waitlisted, or UC, for example for Mantenga when the provider is unable to confirm, and RQ, for example for Misty Hills when the request has not yet been sent. If the status is RQ, RS, WL or UC, a user with the necessary access rights can amend the booking status. This might impact on the sending of booking emails. A flashing red light, for example for Misty Hills, indicates a pending booking email to be sent from Booking Management. See the tutorial on bookings in TWeb for a detailed look at how this function works. Click on the red cross to remove a service from the project. For a project that has not yet been booked, if a service is cancelled, it disappears from the service basket and there are no other consequences. For example, Misty Hills. Once a project has been booked, if the service is cancelled, it remains in the project. For example, Misty Hills. It is necessary to keep track of such services because cancellations must be sent to suppliers and because of the possibility of cancellation fees. When a service is just cancelled, it appears in the service basket grouped together under cancelled services at the bottom. Once the cancellation has been sent from Booking Management, the cancelled services are by default hidden in the service basket. To see them again, click Show CXD. And that is it. Thank you for watching.